this wipe, I had the goal to convert my main base to house a boat, and with this boat, I was going to get up to all sorts of antics that would put me on the hit list of a lot of people, including one of the biggest zergs I'd seen in Rust. The hard part was I was going to do this on Rustoria US Long, a 800 pop zerg server where your actions really do have consequences and where my ability to keep my base standing would be put to the test. It was a plan fraught with danger and a bit stupid, but it was going to be one hell of a ride.
If I'm dead ass, dude, if I make a play, I will give you loot.
Alright, we're going all rig. I've got one sail, it will take a while, but we'll get there. Hello all, we are back, and I'm on Rustoria US Long. It's an 800 pop server, it's notorious for its zergs, and it has been a while since I've played it, but I have a pretty simple plan. I'm going to take my existing base design, heavily modify it, and then put a boat in it. And then with that boat, I'm going to be an absolute menace out in the ocean. I haven't explored the boat update stuff much. I've been in the SEA region defending raids from 30-man zergs, but I'm back on the American servers, and I'm keen as hell to see what happens on this wipe, because I do think I'm going to make a lot of enemies, and I'm guaranteed to be living near some big-ass zerg. But without wasting any more time, let's get to this mining outpost. I want to tech tree everything I need, and be out in that ocean pretty much straight away. I do need to get this tech treeing done like pretty much as soon as possible. It's force wipe, and within an hour all these zergs will have these recyclers on lockdown, and I won't be able to access them. So the quicker I get this done, the better, and then I can just get out in the ocean and try and survive. I'll probably run into like a zerg cruise liner or something, but we can just get some resource and then find a starter spot after that. I really didn't expect to get that much radiation from launch site, but here we are. I think I'll quickly put a bag down and respawn so I can get my health back. But just quickly, if you like this video at any point, please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help the channel, and I genuinely appreciate it. But for now, let's get back to that outpost. Now that I was at the mining outpost, I put down a simple 2x1 and got started on getting the scrap I would need to research the boat parts. The plan was to live out of this 2x1 and accumulate resources, then when it became too hard to exist here, or there was a threat of me being raided, I would just move out onto a boat and live on the ocean until I figured out a main base location. Well, that was close. Must have seen me like silhouetting on the water. I think I'll probably wait for day and then we'll try hit this recycler up. I've just got to say as well that my FPS and the performance of my Rust has gotten so much better since last wipe. I was just struggling with the FPS on these Zerg servers, and I went down a bit of a rabbit hole to optimize my PC. I was playing around with NVIDIA settings and all that sort of stuff, and I just came across Hypertune. It's an application you install, and there's a single button that you click to optimize your PC, and then you just launch your game with your benefits. Now, me personally, I got about 30% increased FPS on these Zerg servers in Rust. I hadn't optimized for a while, but I do know of people as well who've gotten up in the 40s. So if you want to support me and the product, there's an affiliate code in the description below. You get a 7-day free trial, and then it's $5 a month after that. So you can install it and try it. If you don't like it, you can just walk away at no cost to you. But thanks to Hypertune for supporting the channel, and let's get back to it. $19 scrap is still 19 scrap. I think it's going to be a lot of small wins, I think, that are just going to have to add up. Well, that's not good. There's a base next to me. I wasn't sure who was in it, but I'm assuming that's them. I'm hoping that they focus on their base build and I can just get my scrap, but we're going to find out in a minute. He's been recycling. I'll take that. We've got to get out before his mates come, but 42 scraps, 42 scrap. I just need my metal door and then we're all safe. I need it to last a couple hours at least, and then we're all good from there. Oh damn, if I hit that last shot I might have actually been able to pull it off. It's about 400 scrap I need to get all this boat stuff, which shouldn't be an issue. I'm not going to be able to do it in one go here, it's just going to have to be little bits at a time because that group's on the recycler. But I do want to get this done and out in the ocean as quick as possible because I do think they'll raid me. They'll clear this area out in the next few hours once they get their boom. Not bad at all. I'm actually making decent progress. I'm getting like little windows to get into the recycling when the group's not here. Oh, he's been busy. I'll happily take all that. The progress was actually going better than expected, and I was only a few hundred scrap away from having everything I needed researched for stage 1 of my journey. I didn't want to go out on the ocean completely broke, so I spent some more time fighting and farming around this outpost to be prepared for a life on the ocean. I'm actually making decent progress here. There's like little windows I'm getting between the clan when they're not on the recycler. So I think I'm just going to keep this up for now and get like spear guns and furnaces, all that stuff I need to survive out on the ocean. And then once it starts to pick up again, I'll get some wood and we'll just leave on a boat.
Hey dude, we're good.
Dodged a bullet there. He was playing nice, but that Yoka shell had my name on it.
Kill him! Kill him! Kill them!
Nah, I'm coming back. That is the downside to having 250 pings. Sometimes you die before you actually know you died. But I got it done. I got my bow back. It's the most important thing. Definitely starting to pick up around here. I'm on the other side of the map from the spawn beach, and a lot of the smaller groups are starting to get over here now. There's like 3 trios living next to this mining outpost. So I might just go out in the ocean for a little bit and try get some diving stuff, and then build this boat. What is he standing on? Alright, nice. He actually had diving gear on him. That's good. That's what I was out here for. I've got 2 or 3 sets now, I think, which is more than enough. So I reckon we go back and we build this boat. I now had everything I wanted to start living in the ocean. I was going to start simple with a small boat and some sails, and then progress from there. The plan was to use this boat to grub oil rigs, dive in the ocean and get my start that way, and then eventually move into the deep sea, and then find a place to call home. Hope you don't judge me too hard for this, and you're welcome to put down in the comments better ways to do things, but I could have gone and looked up boat strategies and metas, and it kind of just would have taken away from the fun of exploring and finding metas for myself. So I'm pretty much going to start almost going in blind. I know that speed is king, and that more sails the better. So the first boat's probably going to be a bit rough around the edges, and then I'm just going to eventually build on it and evolve on the design. You can watch that journey with me through this wipe, because I don't know what the meta is, so we're just going to wing it. But yeah, I'm just going to go out there, put a boat down, and then go from there. Time that well, I think that clan's just gone out and started raiding everyone. But I'm just gonna get in this water and get this boat down. The problem is I don't think I can protect the steering wheel that well because I can't make windows yet. I don't have tier 2. So I'm gonna have to come up with something. Probably be less than ideal, but we'll see how we go. I think this will do for now. It doesn't need to be anything special. It just needs to hold me, a couple barrels in a bag, and move quick. I'll add more sails to it as I get more tarp. But this is version 1, and I'll very likely change it when I realise it's a very bad design. I now had a boat, but looking back, it was a very bad one. But that's the joys of experimenting. Sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss. But by the end of this wipe, my boat design evolves into something that I would consider a pretty good boat design for solos. I had version 1 of my boat and was now out in the ocean and had a few short-term goals. I was going to continue to use the 2x1 next to the mining outpost, but only in a clandestine way. I would go out on the ocean, get a bunch of loot through PvP and farming and just being a general menace, and then come back at night and dive the loot into the 2x1, keeping a very low profile to avoid being raided by the clan next to me while I decided on where I was going to put my main base. I now have a boat. I am a weapon of the ocean. I think plan 1 is to just go get trash piles and dive and all that stuff, and then just PvP anyone else doing that, because it's early on in the wipe. There'll be a lot of people out in the ocean, and then I think we'll go pay the small oil rig a visit after that and see what I can get from there. That was close. Especially considering I've never shot this thing. I reckon I've got the sniper's touch with the cannon already. Uh-oh. They've got an engine. This is not going to end well. Wait, what? Why did the cannon just kick? I mean, that was pretty optimistic. Luckily, they didn't have a cannon or any boom, so we lived to die another day. I'm going to go straight back to what I was doing. Oh, that is not bad at all. I'm hoping to find more people doing this. It's still early into wipe, like 3 hours, so I reckon there'll be a lot more divers out in the ocean. I'm actually not too far from base yet. I reckon I might spin around and do a depot run and then try and suss out oil rig. Oh my god, how many are there? Well, that's a freaking problem. It turns out, I was living next to a pretty deep clan that we saw glimpses of earlier, but now I had a rough idea of how deep they actually were. I had a plan on how to keep my loot safe in this 2x1, but for that to work, I was going to need more farm that I was not going to be able to get here. I had two personalities at this point, the nice quiet solo neighbour versus the menace on the ocean with a cannon. I was hoping this strategy of keeping my head low around this area would put me last on their raid list, and in that time I'd be able to build my 2x1 up to at least hide my loot. So with the looming threat of the clan, I went back to the ocean to avoid drawing any unwanted attention to my 2x1. I need some farm to build this 2x1 up, but I'm not going to get it here. I want to hide loot behind doors. I think I might go up to the snow. There's like a bit of a peninsula that doesn't look like it would have a whole lot of people there. I reckon I'll do a farm run, bring that loot back, and then we try and hit up small oil rig. Oh, look how many nodes there are. This was a good decision. I might actually stick a 2x1 here at some point as well, and just have two little bases that I float between. That way if the other one does get raided, I still have somewhere to live. I reckon this is enough for now. I don't want too much in here. I reckon I'm going to drop this off and then go small ore rig. Mark my words, I will hit one on the run eventually. Ooh, I got another set of neighbours with a boat. Their base is not going to last long. That clan will raid it, but I might try and pick that guy from the water. That's the guy I killed earlier. I'm gonna go deeper, I'll wait for dark and then swim the loot in. This plan is actually working quite well. I think with this farm I'll chuck this second level of this 2x1 on so I can start hiding loot behind jump ups. And then I reckon I need to get my tier 2, so off to ore rig, small. Hopefully I can fluke a red card off someone. If not, we're just going to have to loot milk crates. I've come up with a few different ways to hide loot over the years. Some I show, some I don't show. I keep them a secret. But the old box behind the door, it works every time. Like no one, if you just leave some loot in the core and they're like, oh, it's a solar, that's all he's got, and then just hide the rest upstairs. We're about to put that theory to a test because I guarantee this base gets raided today or tomorrow. And hopefully they don't find anything. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that. That's most of the good stuff. I'll keep the rest on the boat that I need to live with, and we'll go get some more. It's time to go to rig. Oh, it's a spaz. That's a sign. That's perfect for just sitting on rig with. I'm hoping someone just comes with the red card and I can get one that way. If not, I'll just loot it up, and I reckon eventually I'll get the fragments I need for a tier 2. At this point, I needed a tier 2 workbench before I even considered building a main base, and given what this server was like and its population, it was unlikely that I was going to get it from a card room. So I headed off to small ore rig to camp it for a bit in the hopes I could start acquiring fragments. It's started to dawn on me that I probably need a boat upgrade, so at some point after this I'm going to make a new boat with a lot more sails on it because this thing is way too slow. That's what I'm talking about. First milk crate's a fragment. I actually think I can get my tier 2 doing this. I've gotten here a bit late. It's already been done, but with the pop on this server, these crates will respawn very quickly. Oh, I love it. This is everything I need and more. I'm going to go back for round 2 before that rig alarm goes off. I can't waste this opportunity. Oh, not bad. That's actually a really good gun for the ocean. Like if you're on a boat. A SAR would have been better, but I can't complain too much. Oh, the fun's over. That's actually insane. I spent like a day cycle in that rig. like it's 800 pop. I'm surprised no one came and tried to do anything, but I'm not complaining. Oh, did you see that? He's just stashed something. I'm 100% going to have a look at what that is. Oh wow, poor guy. That is rotten luck. It's mine now though. My first rig haul was pretty good, but sailing back and forth and looking at other people's boats, it was clear to me that mine was pretty bad. Something did also occur to me while going up and down that coastline, and that was that spot I found the stash in also had big potential for a main base location. I wasn't 100% sold on it yet, but I quickly chucked a 1x1 down on the way back to claim a bit of territory. Once I got back to base, I stashed my loot, ran out into the water and built version 2 of my boat base, and considering how good the first rig trip was, I decided to go straight back with my new boat. Alright, this will do for now. It should be a lot quicker. This is version 2. I know what a third version is going to look like when I get Windows, but I don't have my tier 2 yet. And speaking of that, I need it pretty badly, so I'm going straight back to rig to see if I can get some more fragments. That guy would have just got the fright of his life. Oh my god. Pretty sure it's being cleared already, but I reckon we can get a bunch of milk crates before that alarm goes off. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I think I only need one more. Well, that was quick. I actually got a fair bit of stuff for the short amount of time I was on there. I've almost got my tier 2, so I reckon I'm just going to go straight to large ore rig while this one respawns. It's already been done, but there could be some scraps, and a couple of mill crates won't hurt. I reckon I'll just go vacuum clean whatever's left. Oh, diving gear. I actually really need that. I've got like 2 sets in the boat. It does appear that it was a big fight here. Oh, it's empty. I actually do really need one of these. Nice. There's so much stuff left behind. Like, I know big groups won't take it, but I've got like 300 cloth just off bodies and a P2. So it pays to be a vacuum cleaner. It never ends. This is actually really good. I've gotten so much stuff to grub ore rigs now. I can just keep going back with pumps and double barrels and whatever. Got like 7 diving sets now. Vacuuming up these ore rigs was really good for me because it gave me a lot of good comps, my tier 2, the diving kits I'd need to counter rigs, and a lot of crude which I was going to need when I got some boat engines. I went back to base, stashed my loot, and with wipe day coming to an end and my boat likely not surviving the night, I decided to go and explore the deep sea. This boat has definitely served its purpose. I'm not too fussed if I lose it or not because I'm going to go to sleep soon. So I reckon we just send it at the deep sea, see what's out there. I don't think it'll last long, but you don't know if you don't try. And then come tomorrow I'll have my tier 2 so I can actually build version 3, which will have windows and engines and all the other stuff I'll need to actually survive in a boat. Should zone in a second. My concern is I don't have windows, which makes surviving quite difficult. I think I really need a tier 2 to last out here, but we are about to find out. I like the weather. I haven't actually been out here. I've watched streams of people coming out here, but this is my first time. Oh wow, bolt. I'll happily take that. Oh no. It's right about now. I wish I had windows. I knew it going in that my boat was not prepared for the deep sea, but I sent it anyway in the odd chance it worked out. Strangely enough, these guys didn't actually sink my boat, so I took the small amount of loot I had and headed back home. I was going to revisit the deep sea tomorrow with a boat equipped for it. Now I had a dilemma. I wanted to keep my base next to Outpost alive, but it was almost certainly going to be raided tonight, and getting anything done in that area was next to impossible. So I decided to set up a second base right next to my farming spot, so I could be a bit more out of the way, and it would enable me to get the farm I would need to build it up, to put an external on it, and to also hide my loot. I set up the second base, moved most of my loot to it, and then went to sleep. Oh, I'm not surprised, to be honest. I feel like I've got jet lag. It was a monster rust day yesterday. But if they've got the stash, that's problematic. If they didn't, we're all good, but let's go have a look. Well, that's a good start. I've still got an external, which means I should have my tier 2. I do see a big hole though. Oh, that garage door is still there. I don't reckon they got the stash. I'm not opening it though, I'm sealing that thing up first, but the fact that door's there is promising. Works every time. I intentionally put a jump up on this side so the loot was facing the water, and if they're going to rocket me they probably weren't going to do it from the water side, and it's gone like clockwork. I pretty much lost nothing. I left like the boat stuff, some just basic tools and whatever was in my TC, which was not much. So they've used quite a few rockets for nothing. I'll get back to setting this base up and then I think we'll go from there. With the base fixed up and pretty much no loot lost, it was time to set out on achieving today's goals. My priority was to find a main base location and at least get started on claiming that spot. But for that, I needed a new boat, and with my tier 2 workbench, I went out and made one. This one had windows and an engine and would allow me to escape in most scenarios, but just before I could finish it, I managed to trap a grub. Oh, I can see his feet, he's in there. I got a friend.
Yeah.
Oh bro, this whole time I haven't had voices on. Hey, I've been talking to myself. I can hear you now. What's going on?
Oh wow! Wow!
So, what's your end game here?
My end game's Jack After Dark.
Yeah, fair.
You could have my P2. I'm dead ass, bro. You could take it.
Oh,
That's 10 bullets.
a modern day Santa. What else do you have on you? I'm gonna take you to Ore Rig,
Bro, if I'm dead ass, dude, if I make a play, I will give you loot.
Alright, we're going oil rig. I've got one sail. It will take a while, but we'll get there.
What's your username? Yeah. On wipe day, where M2 was, that there was someone there, and he was a cheater. Wow, instantly.
Oh, that's gold. I'm gonna finish building this boat. Oh, nice. It actually fits. Alright, that's good. I'll be mostly operating on sails, but if someone comes up with cannons or tries to chase the boat, I can just come down, hit this engine, and I should get a lot more speed. It's a pretty small footprint, and I don't think many people would be able to outrun me. But, yeah, I'm sure we'll put that theory to a test very soon. I'm pretty sure NPC AI is disabled. Alright, it definitely is. Okay. Sometimes server operators turn this off when they're glitching out, but that just means they don't fight back, so I'm going to jump in there and see what they've got. I need to be careful though, there are people on rig. Oh, I've got a visitor. We may have a problem. My boat's not as quick as I thought it would be with one engine. I need 3, but that one's pretty big too. We'll see what happens. If he gets on the cannons, then this will be interesting. definitely getting a gap on them now. I reckon they've run out of low grade on their engines. I need more myself. I thought this boat would be a lot quicker. I just had a narrow miss, and if it wasn't for them running out of low grade, I wouldn't have survived. At the time, I thought boat version 3 wasn't too bad. It was certainly better than version 1, but it still needed some serious improvements. I headed back to base to restock and repair, and as I pulled up, I stumbled across my new neighbours building a boat. I think it's the lag, but sometimes I just get a kick on this cannon. Oh my god, there has to be so much loot sitting in the water. That low grade's actually really helpful. Like, I can at least get in the engine and get this boat offshore a bit. I don't know where that AK lives, but I'm assuming he's got friends out in the snow if you've got an AK, and they could probably raid this boat if they wanted to. Oh, I can see treasure on the ground. I think they're up on their boat breaking it or something. I think I got to them when they were putting the sails up, so I don't even think they were able to finish the boat. After fighting out front of my base, I decided to lay low for a while and went back out to the deep sea, where my adventure was cut short and it became very apparent that my boat design needed even more work. So I went back to the drawing board and cooked up version 4, which was a lot faster and did form the foundation of my final boat design that served me well over the rest of this wipe. Now at this point, I had quite a lot of loot stashed in 2x1s that was well hidden, but it didn't change from the fact I was quite exposed to one of these bases being raided and the loot being found. So before that happened, I put my number one priority to finding a spot to build a main base and then building it. Now earlier in the wipe, I drove past a place that looked like a really good base location. It had good monuments and it had a deep sea drop off on the shore where I could actually build the boat storage part of my main base. So I spawned over, put a small 2x1 down next to it on the cliffs, and then started to move all of my loot over from my new boat. Now in my scouting, I somehow missed a giant Zerg 7 grids away on the other side of Missile Silo, but by the end of this wipe, we become well acquainted. Got the 2x1 down, I'm happy with that. Now I've just got to figure out where exactly this base goes. Along the shoreline in front of me, up the right hand side is a bunch of TCs, they're decaying. And I think somewhere in there will be a really good spot to put the base because there's like a really deep drop off. And I can have my rear external hut become the boat storage part of the base. And I reckon I can also just park my boat up in all of this stuff and it will kind of blend in. Someone's come through here and just purged the coastline. It's pretty quiet at the moment. But I think I just start to get everything ready, pull all the resources, and then just pull the trigger on a night cycle and just start building it. This is the part I've been really dreading, where all of my loot is in this 2x1. If I get seen by the wrong person, it could be all over. But I think I'm just gonna get it all into this 2x1, and then I'll put the foundation, like the starter for the main base, somewhere on the coastline, and then just build it up from there in the dark. I think I'm only going to keep in here what I need for the starter for now, just to be safe. So I want to have like the last external be in the water at a depth enough that I can land a boat. I'm going to have to play around a bit with this starter just to get the right like foundation depth. But once I find it, it'll be an easy build. But yeah, I have to experiment in the day a bit, and then when it goes dark, I'll try and actually build the thing. Just gonna depot all this quickly. I don't want to lose anything to these grubs, especially be TC griefed, so I might just wait for them to go and then try again. I need to be a little bit careful how I build this. I only really get like one shot to get this correct, but I do need the back foundations to be quite deep. I actually think I've nailed this first go. I can use half walls to build up that foundation. It's not quite the right height, but I can get away with just using walls. I think as the sun starts to set, we'll just run over and build the core, the shell at least. Oh, building bases with 250 ping is painful. It's like slow to place the blocks so you can miss them easy. You gotta take your time. But once I don't normally do the externals first, but I want them up before the sun comes up. So I'll do these externals first, and then I'll focus on the shell. And then, I guess phase 1's done. We flesh it out and fill it full of loot. Over the next 45 minutes or so, I powered through building out the rest of the shell and ran out of farm the second I finished the shooting floor. I put some turrets down and then moved the last of my loot into this base, which I could not have timed any better as the base right next to my 2x1 was being raided. I now had the first part of my main base completed, some decent places to stash loot, and a little boat harbour out the back that would keep my boat safe during the night. The base still needed a lot of work, which was going to have to wait till tomorrow, as I was pretty tired at this point, and with my day's goals completed, I went to sleep. I didn't know it at the time, but I just placed my base in the middle of a hornet's nest. I was a little bit worried there at the start when those grubs tried to grief me, but that kind of went to plan, which is not normal for me. Like, I've got the shell done. I really need to flesh it out, the open core, the automation, honeycomb, all that sort of stuff. I've got some basic turrets down, the boat's out the back, got a couple kits to defend a raid with if it happens, although it'll be hard to defend one with what I have at the moment. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with today's progress. I think I'll just do a few little finishing touches, and I think it's time to go to sleep. It's been a big day. What is that thing? This is so weird. There's no way this is a fob. There's no turrets or anything. Guess we'll find out in a minute.
Why are you outside my base? Dude, can you... The door can't be.
What is happening outside my base? I'm a bit confused. I'm gonna have a guess. There's 3 guys in that little base, and I'd just gotten on, so maybe they scared of me when I was offline and thought they could offline me. And then old mate's heard the gunshots and come across on his horse with his minigun. It's gone a bit quiet, but I'm just gonna go stick a auto turret looking at that fob, just in case they do actually try and pull something. Maybe they got friends coming over. There's gonna be a lot of them. I don't know. Just We'll find out in a minute when I stick this auto turret down. This looked to be some sort of offline raid attempt, but I'd literally logged in 5 minutes before they built that fob, and when they realised I was online and there was a guy running around on a horse with a minigun, they bailed on that attempt. Now my base still needed a lot of work, so I went back over to my farm base with my boat, did a few big farm runs, sat front row to the big clan next to my farm base being raided, then headed back to my main base to finish off my open core. I didn't know it at the time, but the guy on the horse with a minigun belonged to a lot bigger group than the one that just tried to offline me, and now they also knew where I lived. Well, the open core is looking nice. It's almost pretty much done. I just need to do all the automation. And the way I normally do it is I have 3 sections. I'll have blue, green, and red. Green is farm, blue is like electrical, deployables, all sorts of random items like that, and red is weapons, ammo, and boom. And I do it that way because I used to get like motion sickness after a whole day of doing 360s in my core trying to find my loot. So at least I can find it easier with that system. And then another thing I do is I put all of my automation out into one of my guard huts, like a little control room, and I'll put it in the guard hut that's least likely to be blown up in a raid. So in this version of the base, it'll be on the water side. That way, if the base does get raided, I don't have to redo all the automation. I just put the barrels back down, hook the right pipes back up, which makes life easy. You spend a few hours setting this up as a solo, and you save yourself so much time. But I'm going to get on that now because I kind of want the base to be done. Pretty much almost done. I've just got to plumb up like 2 more conveyors, I think, and then we're good. Essentially, it just stays contained in this little hut, and then there's drop boxes in each guard hut, and it all just gets fed up into this big auto sorter, and just gets deposited into its corresponding box in the core. Sometimes a double box, depending on what it is, but yeah, I'd keep it in here so it's relatively safe. If I do get raided, I don't have to rebuild it all, and I can just plumb boxes back up. But I think I'll go down and do a few mods on my boat as well, just to get that ready, because I don't actually have my tier 3 workbench yet. I haven't even tried to get it. I'm living on Tommies and the MP5s I've grubbed from the ocean. So I'm hoping after this I can go out into the deep sea or do some rigs to try and get this bench. And at least get some raid defense kits. I can just fit. Might have to do some laps, running from Zergs. Slim down a bit so I can fit my boat. Yeah, I'm liking this design a lot more. Like, it's got just more room, but it's still a light footprint. I can get a lot of sails up on the roof and on the sides. I've got 3 engines as well. Like, this thing will be lightning quick. Pretty keen to take it out into the deep sea, and if I find a Zerg, I can just hit me 3 boat engines and just drive away. What have I spawned into? I think they're real rockets. I can't hear the incense, like the fire coming off of an incense rocket. my god, they were actually real rockets. I don't know that name. They could have name changed, but that name wasn't a part of the little group earlier that tried to do it. It's actually kind of smart to rocket the roof and get roof control like that, but if they're in a group, they're not going to take an L like that. I'm gonna go hide these rockets and just wait and see what happens. That dude had a launcher on his back. Right, this is going to be interesting. I have one AK. I don't even have a tier 3 yet. I'm going to have to win this with grenades, I think. Right, there's a lot more of them now. I don't know what's going on. They've kind of called in reinforcements, but they're just going to build that fob up and turret wall in. So I think I've really only got one shot to win this, and that's to smoke the front of it and rocket it and just run between the two huts, hoping that they don't pre-aim me. I think that was the last rocket, but I've definitely done some damage to that fob. I got 2 into the fob, so I'm hoping I've like broken all their beds or something and it slows them down. they've gone and got their attack heli. This is going to be interesting. We're actually shooting at my turrets with it. That's going to make life difficult. Unfortunately, I think the cause lost. It all came down to that single grenade in the inner peaks. And it doesn't help that there's an attack heli looking in through my peaks too. I still think we can save the boat. It's got stuff on it. I'm going to try and get the boat out. It turns out it's quite difficult to aim a HV rocket on 250 ping on a moving boat. What is this crap? He can push my boat with the attack heli. I can't steer it, he's pushing me to shore. That's ridiculous. Oh no, it's over. We're beached. It's so ridiculous he can do that. This thing's OP enough as it is already. Okay, that's really not good. That's my stash loot behind that jump up. I had just fallen victim to the when in doubt, get your attack heli out meta. They are hard enough to stop in a group, but as a solo, when you have one staring straight into your breach, there's not much you can do. Now in terms of base progression, this base was about 50% completed. I had half the turrets I wanted, no tier 3, so half the time I was defending with grenades and Thompsons, and considering the situation, I think I did quite well. Now not long after this, I find out who these guys are. I don't know how I missed it when I first scouted this place out, but this was a full-blown Zerg of about 40 people. Now 40 people didn't raid me. This was at the degen hours of the morning for the Americans, so it would have just been who was left online that came over and raided me, but by the time the attack heli had come out, there was about 10 people in that fob. While it was the first time I'd met them, it was not the last, and unfortunately, due to their sixth sense, they found my stash loot behind a jump up in the water hut. Now at this point, I had nothing but a base, but the silver lining was that most of what I had went into building the base, and they didn't raid my externals, so I still had control of it. I was not going to give up that easy, so tomorrow, I was going to build a new boat and really send it on the ocean to get loaded. I planned on doing all rigs, the deep sea, whatever I could do that would fill this base out with kits and high tier loot, so that if the Zerg did come back, I would be in a much better place to defend it. I patched the holes up, then went to sleep determined to get my wipe back on track tomorrow by being an absolute rat on the ocean. They didn't actually raid my boat. That makes life a lot easier actually. I think I'm just going to get the basics again that I need, fix up that boat. I'll do a little bit of diving on the way to Outpost so I can get some crude. I might see if there's anything left in my first base, assuming it's still there. And I kind of want to. I'm gonna get a bunch of crude out in the ocean and go to Outpost and just buy red cards and maybe a couple guns if I've got enough. And people might be like, "Oh, it's cop out. He's gonna get red cards through Outpost." No, it won't be that easy because there's a huge stretch of land between where I'd park my boat and Outpost. So I'm gonna have to run across like Zerg infested desert and back again to try and get the red cards safe. But I reckon that's plan A. Get red cards, couple guns, go rig. It's actually still in pretty good condition. Got my tier 2, got my engines, got a little bit of diving stuff. This is all I need. I just need a boat and a dream. I think it's time for diving and barrel hitting simulator to end and try and go to Outpost and get these red cards. Like just looking at the map, like it's gonna have to wait till dark and just hope I can get back in time. A lot of my wipes riding on this, to be honest. There's one shop that has good deals, I'm going to buy it all out. And if I die with it, then I'm in a bit of a pickle. Well, I was going to try this side of the peninsula, but I don't think I will anymore. Yeah, cargo might be a bit hard to swipe. There's people everywhere. I'm pretty much just gonna have to wait for dark, I think, and just send it and hope I get back. They're building a boat. Like, what is that timing? I'm just gonna have to motor out and come back when it's dark. Alright, wish me luck. If this doesn't work out, I'm pretty much back at square one on the beach, just with a big base with holes in it. Right, we at least made it. That is the easy part though. I need to get back before the sun comes up. Oh my god, my FPS. If it wasn't for that comp ready thing, I don't even know if my computer would run here. Get 800 people, cram around Outpost. This is what the result is. Right, nice. Now drones be quick. See, I could buy all my fragments, but I'm better off just getting red card because I can get the fragments and then tier 3 loot alongside it. Because I think with this many red cards, I should be able to pull a few rigs off. But yeah, now the trek home. This is less than ideal. The sun's coming up and I'm not even halfway home yet. And everything I own is pretty much in my inventory right now. With the red cards secured, now I just needed to convert them to high tier loot. So I went straight over to the large ore rig and waited for it to respawn, and once it did, I sent it with my only Tommy. I think while I was away, I think someone's tried to build next to me. The Zergs come over and raided them. That's the problem with this coastline, that was so quiet when I got here because they just raid everyone. Well, they're out in full force today. I'm just going to wait here for rig to respawn and then send it. We're good to go, it's up. I've got about 7 attempts to pull this off before I run out of red cards. I'm really unsure how this will go, like, seeing what landed on cargo and the fact the Zerg's right next to me, this could be chaos. But, yeah, only one way to find out. Frick? What's going on with that scientist? here we go. Like, he's blocking the crate. I can't activate it. It's just never a dull day with face punches there. Oh, I've done it. I've defeated the final boss of all rig. You can actually call the heavies in. Probably get counted. No wheel for nothing. Someone's making a play. Oh, he's actually still here. There's not that long left on the crate. Like, he needs to make his play soon, or I'm just going to run down, grab it, and just jump off the edge. He's in the water chasing me. Too slow, mate. He had his chance, he just took too long. After that rig, I went back and depoted my loot to prepare to go back again. I went back 2 more times while doing odd jobs between respawns, but with the exception of one guy trying to counter me, nothing really happened. I thought given the population and the fact there was a Zerg right next to all rig, that trying to grind out my tier 3 bench was going to be war, but it was the exact opposite. I now had a few decent kits to my name in my main base, but I needed and wanted more. I've been living a quiet life, and I wasn't playing much out of my main, but when I would get loot, I would dive it back so I didn't draw any unwanted attention to the base, as I wanted to be fully prepared for the repercussions of appearing back on the Zerg's radar. To get my loot, I wanted to go back out to the deep sea. I already had 2 attempts, but my boat was not prepared, and I didn't have the firepower to fend off other boats. This time around was going to be different, and I went back out to the deep sea, ready for a fight. I was just about to go out to the deep sea, but these guys are just sinking boats on the coast next to me. I might see if I can counter it first and then go out. Oh, there was actually stuff in this boat. This is actually kind of big. It could be loaded. I mean, I was hoping for some more, but at the end of the day, it's free. And I will take charcoal, I can never get enough of it. 200 crude's good as well. I mean, loose loot. All I needed was like 2 spear guns for that, so I can't complain. But I think that little side quest is over now. It's time to go send it out in the deep sea. The good news is, my boat is a lot quicker this time, so I should be able to outrun like any bigger group that tries to chase me down. And I have a lot of low grade. I've obviously been saving it, and I don't need to fuel 50 people of meds and rockets. But yeah, I think I'm just going to systematically go around clearing all the islands as best I can, and hopefully come away with a lot of loot. The crude on this ship is insane. I want AKs, not spotlights. Oh, I've got a friend. This is my island. I've run into him, and we had our little fight, but I kind of just left because there's nothing I can do. I don't have any boom. But he's followed me and chased me to the island. I don't think he wants to take the L. I think he's looking for a fight. But I want to loot the island, but I've got this guy to contend with. Oh, he's trying to raid the boat. That was a really close call. Like, he almost got the bed. I think I need to put the anchor with the bed so I can respawn, just lift the anchor and leave. But I'm just going to go back to the normal scene, fix this boat up, put 2 doors on. I'm not done yet, I'm coming back. I want more loot. I think next time I come out here I need to bring C4 or something. I'm kind of just taking jewels out in the ocean hoping people slip up and like bodies fall in the water or whatever, but this guy can just grab his loot and run back into his boat. I think next time I'm bringing like 10 C4. Oh yeah, look how quick this boat is. There's no way they can catch me on a boat that big. Like, speed is king. I just need to get some distance on them, and then I can repair the boat. The bolt helps as well. I can like try and bolt them off the cannon to give me time. But yeah, good decision. Speed is king. Dreaming. It didn't take long to outrun that thing at all. I actually have quite a bit of loot on this boat. I'm thinking I might just start to head back and stop at a ghost ship if there's one on the way. I'd rather actually get this home than lose it all. It's probably been clear, but there is a crate counting down. There's like a little group just out in the water doing the rib. It's not the clan. If it was the clan, I wouldn't be here, but we might be able to counter it. Oh, well, they're stuffed. The group's found them. I don't think their boat can outrun that either. Well, that's good though, because they're going to be occupied with that, and I can just get this crate and go home with all the loot. Wow, what a rat. He sat there the whole time. I respect that, but God. I had survived my 3rd trip out into the deep sea, but it certainly had a few close calls. I got all my loot back to my base, which I really needed, then spent a bit of time fortifying it. I did some upgrading, moving raid kits around the base, and did all that stuff that you would need to do to increase your chance of defending a raid from a Zerg. Now earlier, I come across 2 guys cannoning a boat, and as I was coming back, I thought to myself, why spend all this time out in the deep sea again, when I can just use all the cannonballs I got from the deep sea to take everyone else's loot. So I grabbed my boat, filled it with cannonballs, and genuinely sailed around the map acting like a pirate to get my treasure. For some reason, I thought it took way more cannonballs to sink a boat. But for like a boat my size, it's like 30 to 40 cannonballs. And I was out in the deep sea and come back with like 80. So I might just, instead of going back out to the deep sea, I'm just going to drive around sinking boats and fending off anyone who tries to counter it. See if we can hit a jackpot. First victim. I've never actually done this before, so I understand the doors break as it sinks. But yeah, let's sink it and see what's in it. Well, that's it, I reckon it's going down. That was like 35 cannonballs, and I didn't do anything to get them other than run around the deep sea, so if there's loot in here, it's just pure profit. Ooh, that's a good sign. Food, I need that. It's gonna fuel my adventures. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Look at the ammo. I actually really need all of that. I'm getting this straight back to the boat. This is actually tripping me out a lot. Like, when I look straight on because the boat's on the side, if I go left, I do a barrel roll, and if I go right, I go up. Like, the orientation's off. Like, a fight in here would be a nightmare. I think I profited on cannonballs. I'm gonna go drop this off and then find another boat. Can't really finish that raid because there's that massive clan base that can see that boat base. I think I'll just take my win and go and find another boat to raid. This one's definitely bigger than the other ones I've tried to sink. This is going to be like 50 cannibals or something, I reckon, but you know the logic, the bigger it is, the more loot it's going to have, right? Let's test that theory. Alright, she's going down. Come on, be loaded. A man can dream. a little less than ideal, but you don't know till you try. The sulfur will help recoup some of the cannonballs, but I'm not going to stop until I hit an absolute jackpot. If I have to sink 20 boats, I'll be sinking 20 boats. Oh Jesus, where did that come from? I'm stuck on them. They can't get range with the cannon. It's a problem if one jumps on rockets, but for now I'm safe from the cannons at least. Someone's out here with a sub trying to sink him. Just leave me alone, I'm the solo, get them. I'm pretty sure I've got speed on him. I gotta be careful though, there's like 3 cannons on top, but I might just loiter around and try help this sub to sink him. I don't really have a whole lot left to repair this thing with, so I think I'm going to bail. Hopefully that helps that sub sink him. I've been out sinking boats for a few hours now, and while I had some luck, I was still missing that elusive jackpot. I was not going to stop until I got some serious loot from this, so I went back out for round 2, and the odds start to turn in my favour. This one's interesting. The other ones I've been finding have been on the shore, and this one's kind of out to sea. Not like on the edge of the map, but like someone's actually made an effort to try and hide it. But I thought they'd drift back to sea when they're not used, so this must have been used recently, which is promising. I'll go have a look, see if anyone's in there. Even if they are, I'm still going to sink it, and we'll see what it's got. Nice, it's going down. Alright, I'm keen to actually see what's in this one. Oh, that's promising. Looks like it has been emptied a bit, but there's still a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of beds too, so proper clan boat. I think I'm going to depot all this stuff, come down with a jackhammer and break these lockers. actually got kits in them. This is actually like a really good way to raid. Like, you pretty much break even with all the cannonballs you get. It's just pure profit, any item you get. Oh, an AK kit. Yes. I actually need them. I don't have that many. I got a lot of raw materials, just not many full kits. This boat is so full. I need to go drop this off. Oh, I have to do it. I should really depot, but I'm on like the old deep sea side of the map where all these there's boats everywhere. I've got another one written down, but this one's small. I should be able to do it pretty quick. I reckon I'll sink this and then take all that loot and depot it, and then go back for that third one that's a bit bigger. Oh my god, this one's full of loot as well. I'm actually getting loaded doing this. This is actually insane. I have to go back. I have way too much loot in this boat. Boat raiding and being a genuine pirate was going way better than expected. I would use all my cannonballs, get more from the raid, and then keep going. Every raid was pure profit, even if I got just a spear. I headed back to base to deposit my loot, and I had one more boat on my list to raid this afternoon, and well, I'll let the footage explain the rest. I think this is actually a viable S-tier meta on how to progress as a solo, especially on these high-pop servers where there's just ample boats around the place. You just rush a boat and then tech tree down to cannon and go sink ships and get loaded like this. But I'm just gonna depot all this loot, and I've got one more boat to sink, and then that'll probably be it for the day, and I'll just focus on doing some base stuff. I know you don't look like you're loaded, but you better be full of treasure. Like, I probably shouldn't complain. I've had a good day out in the ocean, but I'm going to complain. Hopefully there's loot in it. Oh my god. What the hell? This is insane. This is gonna be like one of the most loaded raids I've had in my life, and it's a freaking boat that like looked like it had nothing in it. This is crazy. Like, this is gonna take me forever to dive this hill back. I've got my jackpot. is insane. I have so much loot. I need to go look at the core. Honestly, where do I start? I think I just go through all the boxes. It's like the most tech trash I reckon I've ever had. With the day coming to an end and my base full of plunder, I decided to use my metal and HQM to fortify the base and then go to sleep. But just as I was getting ready to log out, some familiar faces appear. You know, you don't have to have been playing Rust very long to figure out what this is. I'm definitely being offline checked. What happens from that? I don't know. Oh no. The Zerg village is back. And what makes it worse is I know exactly how my base is laid out too. I didn't even see that guy sneak up. Like, there's actually quite a lot of them. They've just been slowly increasing in number as I've been watching them on the camera. I wish me luck. The right decision, but they're actually aiming their rockets higher this time. Obviously, knowing the base helps. going for the attic now, which is smart. They should have done that to begin with. But, like, this is where I fight from. If they get control of this, I'm in trouble. I'm going to have to defend this at all cost. Oh, it's not ideal. Like, their rockets are actually quite well placed this time. They've taken out 2 of the hut beds and the attic. I think I got 1 or 2 left, but we'll see what we can do. But I'm on timer at the moment. Well, that was an experience. There's only so much you can do when they got numbers and they know the layout of your base. If that after that first seal, if they didn't have the insight to rocket the addict, I might have actually been able to win that, but it's what it is. I put up a fight, fought to the end, even with a combat knife, but it was a bit of an uphill battle. I'm not too fussed about the loot either. It's pixels, you know. The second you start letting that stuff live rent-free in your head, you've lost a life. It's more about what you did to get it. But yeah, it's my turn to hold the treasure. Now it's theirs. If you enjoyed this at any point, like, comment, subscribe. Once again, thanks to Hypertune. And yeah, see you next wipe.